Hey, what's going on? So, Jovi here, as you may have seen, posted to the gram that we started our con circuit. Circuit. I have to say that word right. Yeah, we're going to cons now, man. We're hosting a panel. Our panel, it's about video game movies and how they kind of suck.
It's pretty
yeah,
bad.
yeah. So, and ironically, we just watched a video game movie that did not suck that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was passable. So, let's go ahead and talk about Uncharted, the movie.
Come, come.
Hello, world. Welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Jovi.
Yes, and today we are talking about Uncharted, the movie. Produced by Sony and PlayStation. Sony and PlayStation, not Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's the movie based on the popular video game franchise, Uncharted, you know?
Amazing video game
Yeah.
franchise.
I've played all four games. I think it ranks up there.
Played two.
Yeah. I think Uncharted 2 is probably my third or fourth favorite game there is. Ranks up there as one of the better video game franchises, in a lot of people's opinions. And yeah, so I mean, but before we get into the review, like Jovi said, he's played two. I've played all four of them, but I don't think this is I wouldn't call us hardcore super fans of this series. Meaning that like if it was a Mass Effect movie, I would be all over this thing and I would tear it apart. Yeah. I'd be like, nope, wrong. Yeah. Here, we had something enjoyable. I want to say it off the bat. It was enjoyable before we get into what we're talking about.
Fun. Very fun experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I think, I'll go first.
Go for it.
Let me just talk about my likes and dislikes. So, when this movie was announced, I have to say I thought it was going to be stupid. Mark Wahlberg, I was like, that was an automatic turn off. I thought Tom Holland was way too young, even though he's like a really hot actor right now. And then it just looked like very basic. And I thought they gave away a lot in the trailer. Which they kind of do, but there's still a lot of cool stuff in the movie. So going back to what I just said, if I were an Uncharted super fan, I'd have a problem with Tom Holland because he doesn't act like Nathan Drake acts in the video games. So if you are someone looking for that, then I think you might be a little disappointed, but he does a really good job with this. I mean, in the movie he's in, and Mark Wahlberg. I mean, he doesn't look, talk, or act like Sully, but in the movie, he was all right. So the problems I would have with this movie actually have nothing to do with the acting or the actors.
It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not the characters.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, a complaint I'd have with any other movie. It was a little over the top, especially in the end. There was some stuff here. They went straight to like Mission Impossible 4 with some of the stuff they were doing. Some of the CG, most of the time CG was good. Yeah. Some of it stood out. And then the characters themselves, like I don't know, they did these things where like you would get to. There wasn't a lot of development, but it wasn't like bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's like there's a character, Chloe from the video games. You meet her, and then she tells you why she is the way she is. She literally says why she is the way she is. But right after she says it, they go on solving like a puzzle or something. So there's really not enough time for that moment to set in for you to like feel for the character.
No.
So you know why she's doing what she's doing, but you don't really like feel it or feel for her. And that's basically the case with all the characters. This movie does not waste time getting it going. It goes right into it.
It's very fast paced.
Yeah, it goes right into it. And unlike that movie that still has a bad taste in my mouth, Moonfall.
Moonfail.
Yeah, Moonfail. The pacing was quick, but it was actually okay in this movie. I really liked Antonio Banderas. He was probably the most Uncharted thing in this movie. He acted like an Uncharted villain.
Straight up.
Like seriously.
And that's why I was mocking him the entire time, because it's just his voice.
Yeah.
Like he made.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And yeah, the action set pieces, they were fun. You have to turn off your brain for like the two biggest ones, but they were fun.
It's very true.
They had a lot of stuff from, like, this is like a mixture. Like, I think it draws heavily from Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 1. There were scenes like ripped, like when he's falling out the airplane, which is in the trailer, straight from Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
That was actually really fun, even though I saw it in the trailer. Like, watching it in the theater, that was really fun scene. And I mean, I laughed. I guess the thing is, this movie just it's an action movie. I mean, they played it really safe. It's not something that, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Uncharted, like the most Uncharted thing ever, and I love it. I mean, if you don't know anything about Uncharted, you're gonna go in and it's gonna be a generic action movie. You're gonna have fun with it. Yeah.
Straight up.
And that just, last thing I want to say, with video games in general, I think we're at a point now, especially today, where if you want a video game movie, you got to just play the game itself. Like, there is no movie that is going to recreate the cutscenes you see.
Yeah.
And, like, the cutscenes today are good enough for the cinematic experience. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's not going to be like, Master Chief first meeting the Flood, or Ryu Hayabusa killing Goku. That might be a deep cut. Or Shepard destroying the Collectors, or Leon Kennedy running for his life from Mr. X.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all this stuff, you gotta, if you play the game, nothing is going to recreate that for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's fair to say, and it's just fair to say this movie was good. It was okay. I was entertained when I was watching it, even though it wasn't, like, the most, like, faithful adaptation, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it, bro.
I mean, I could have said exactly all of the same things. I really enjoyed, again, fun time, fun movie because it does kind of stand alone, and like the opposite of what we have said about our video game movies. It's like we want it to be very like the game, but it's like the game's Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider put together with some amazing cinematic scenes. That's the best way I can explain the game. The movie was a adventure, archaeology adventure with some decent actors.
Yeah,
I mean that would be the movie if it wasn't called Uncharted.
Exactly.
And that's, I think that's what, it's a good thing about it. And then the bad thing is, I really, really like Tom Holland, but I felt like I was watching Tom Holland.
He was swole Tom Holland.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you got bigger for this, but he actually did say he had to lose a little weight for Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. He was doing a lot. I like that he did a lot of his stunts in this movie. Like,
you could tell he was actually...
Yeah. I read a report he got hurt, and I understand why. He was jumping all over the place. Yeah.
That's why he doesn't want to act anymore. But no, like, very fun. Antonio Banderas, like, serious the entire time. It was really great. And you don't get to see him much anymore. So it was fun to see him as a villain. It's like, it was good. And like, I can't give it a, like, if we get to scores, it's not going to be a 5 for me. And that's okay. Yeah, no. It's not, because
it's not must see.
Yeah, it's not. And it's something like, hey, if you're in the movie and you're like, are you looking for something to do, a date night or something like that? Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it's like it was funny because we were in this beautiful theater, and it's dark still, and while the credits are rolling, oh, that was good. I was just like, well, who said that? Like, in the darkness, and it was like only a few of us in there because this is Thursday, at 4:00. Yeah. It's my first time seeing a movie at 4:00 on a Thursday, and it seemed like everybody was enjoying it. Of course, I'm gonna be me, an extra. I'm gonna laugh. Like, I laughed out loud a few times, and maybe 5 seconds later, the rest of the theater laughed too. So it's like catching those things, and it was over the top, but it's also a video game adaptation.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
there was a part where he was like, I mean, so you in the trailer you saw him falling out of an airplane. He's talking to someone while he's falling out the airplane, and that's where I was like,
it makes
okay,
no sense.
I was like, okay,
It makes no sense.
they were
all.
breaching in the Fast and Furious territory, man.
It was
yeah.
some of those scenes, and then the scene when they land that helicopter or the freight plane, whatever the transportation plane, was probably some of the worst CG I've ever seen.
Yeah, and yeah, we were talking about it. It didn't need to be in there.
It was literally the most unneeded. We knew what was going on in the story. They did a very good job of explaining what was next. And I could say that is a big plus for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you, because it's so fast, they do mention things to kind of like drive the story.
Yeah. Like they kind of they feed you the story essentially.
Yeah.
You know, and it works in this because they're moving. Like they squeeze a full 16-hour game into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, they like you said, they explain a lot. I mean, if you like movies like National Treasure, I think this is in that vein. I think this might be a little bit better than National Treasure, honestly. Mm-hmm. Just because I think the set pieces and like the scope were bigger. But yeah, I think it was a fun time.
I say, yeah, I have nothing else to say about it because it's like, you don't got to beat a dead horse. It was a fun movie to watch, and that's
yeah.
it, yeah.
So if I were to rate this movie, I would go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I think that's a really honest review because like it wasn't spectacular, but it was really good for what it was.
Yeah, I think it's better than average.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like slightly better. So yeah. What about you?
I think I'm in agreement.
All right, bet. All right, so then that means your small couch review score is a 3.5. I'm gonna have to slice the TV. We're gonna have to slice TV in half. All right. But anyway, guys, thank you as always so much for watching. Uncharted, what did you see, or did you like it? Tell us what your favorite video game movie was. We noticed a lot of you watched our Resident Evil movie. It was better than that.
Oh my
gosh. I mean, because this actually looked like a movie for one thing. But yeah, let us know what you think right down there in the comments. We'll be talking more about the cons as they get closer, so pay attention to our Instagram and Twitters. And yeah, until next time, guys, we out.
Deuces.